All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, World of Wrestling. If you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the like button if you like this video after you watch it. Leave a comment down below if you have any comments you want to make towards the video or towards the show itself. Not that there was much to talk about here about Smackdown. God help us all. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is your May 15th, 2020 review of WWE Smackdown. Here we go. This was a fucking travesty of all travesties. How the fuck could I sit here and do 2 hours of this shit? I don't know. I went ahead and I watched it DVR. I didn't watch it live. I had some things I had to do in my own personal life. I'm not going to fucking sit here and worry about watching Smackdown live on TV. Like, who fucking cares? This was outside of one match on this entire card and Charlotte Flair's segment with Sasha Banks and Bayley. The rest of the show, you could have taken it, you could have just took the show and thrown in the fucking garbage. This was what you call a bland, boring, no flavor show. It's like taking some ice cream that has no flavor. I've never ate ice cream that had no flavor, and God help me if I did. Because this is crapola. Let's go over the garbage. I actually did my own note taking instead of going ahead and reading off what someone else wrote on an article on a major wrestling news site. So I went ahead and took down my own notes, make it a lot easier for myself, especially reading off these notes to you guys. I'll sound a lot better than reading it off of someone else's notes on another website. So we kickstart the show with Miz TV. Oh, God. And Otis is the guest on the show. I will say this. I have to say, hearing Corey Graves say that this is must-see TV is downright lame and such a bogus lie that it isn't even funny. Otis looks like Rip Torn, by the way, from Dodgeball, when he says to Vince Vaughn, "You gotta hump it into submission." Basically, they meet each other in the parking lot, and Rip Torn's character, Patches O'Houlihan, didn't like how Vince Vaughn's team dealt with the situation with Ben Stiller's team, so he kind of told him that information, which I thought was absolutely fucking sick and nuts. Horrible way to introduce yourself. But you got Otis standing on the top of the ramp with a briefcase doing this. I don't understand that. He looks like he's trying to fuck the briefcase. I just don't get this character at all. He was great with Tucker, and now that Tucker is no longer there right now, I'm believing it has something to do with the virus or something. He is by himself at this time, so he's basically a singles wrestler, and he looks ridiculous. Bottom line, I mean, a cut-off t-shirt showing off his fat-ass belly. He's going, "Oh yeah," all through the entire show, talking to himself backstage, which I'll get into. I mean, this guy looks like he could be with the Bushwhackers or something. Only a fat version of what the Bushwhackers would be if they were fat. But, I mean, honestly, this guy's a joke. I don't know how they can even think that this was a great way of crowning a new Money in the Bank winner, but God help us all, he was the guy they chose. Don't know why. Such a waste. So, pretty much to me, this is a ridiculous way of starting off the show. At this point in time, I'm saying to myself, NyQuil, anyone? Please, like, give it to me now so I can go to sleep watching this garbage. So they make Otis come across like a dumbass. He also apparently has turned the Money in the Bank briefcase into a lunchbox. He mentions that he has food in his briefcase. He's got gas relief product in his briefcase. I mean, he's got his own personal storage bin for that briefcase instead of just the contract for being able to cash in for the WWE Universal Championship. What the fuck? This is like over the top ridiculous. Then he's asked if he was pregnant by Miz and Morrison, and they stated that he should do the right thing and do what Becky did, relinquishing the briefcase. I have to agree with that comment. Outside of everything else that they said, that was a complete and utter joke. Then Miz goes on stating that he's a joke and he was upset with the fact that he even is being considered the Money in the Bank briefcase winner and was the winner of this matchup, which I have to agree with him. This is a complete joke. Miz as the Money in the Bank briefcase winner was impressive. I have to give him that much credit, but after his title run as WWE Champion, his career has gone straight down the fucking toilet. There's nothing going on with him at all. So, in return of his disliking of the fact that Otis is the briefcase winner for the Money in the Bank, he wants a tag team match with him and a partner of his choosing against Miz and Morrison. And that's pretty much how the whole thing ends. They ask him where Tucker is. He couldn't really explain, just said he wasn't there tonight to be able to be his tag team partner, and that was that. So we get Elias versus King Corbin. Oh my god. What a boring, stale fucking match this was. This match is actually dealing with the IC Intercontinental Championship tournament. Corey Graves mentions how prestigious this championship is. And I found that comment to be very comical. The fact that this title is being looked at as prestigious, the way it's been built up over the last 10 years, I'll even say 10, okay, is a fucking disgrace. One moment in the match, by the way, that stood out to me was Corbin playing on Elias's guitar. This was the most bizarre spot in the match because he had Elias on the ropes and he was on the offense. He had the advantage here. And he just totally, decided not to continue forward with his offense and get distracted playing a guitar and talking smack. That made no sense to me. To me, this is my question is, why does WWE always have to make their characters so retarded? So once again, Corbin is made out to look like an ass. He has the advantage and lets off the gas pedal to go smash Elias's guitar only to piss him off and have him hit Corbin with a knee to the face followed by a roll-up pin for the victory. And that's how this match ends. I have to say one thing. That is just fucking pathetic. Really, that is stupid. Because out of everybody, and I'm not a big King Corbin or Baron Corbin, whatever way you want to call him, I am not a big Corbin fan, but I have to admit that Corbin seems to be the most legit heel on Smackdown right now. Outside of Bray Wyatt's The Fiend, Baron Corbin's the only one. And he's made out to look like an ass in this. He should have won the Money in the Bank briefcase, or AJ should have won. Another guy, as I mentioned in my preview and prediction video, is Aleister Black should have won the fucking Money in the Bank as well, if you're not going to have either one of those two win. And instead they go with Otis. And throughout the entire show, you see Otis in several segments. I don't know why that is such a big deal about, exposing Otis in almost every segment of the show. I think it was fucking retarded. So Otis is backstage asking if Sheamus would be willing to tag team with him, and only to be shut down by Sheamus's response. So that was an obvious. I would hate to think Sheamus would lower himself by teaming with Otis to go up against Miz and Morrison. God help us all if that was to even happen. Then Otis is they come back from commercial break, and Otis is concerned about finding a partner, and he's talking to himself. Like, what am I going to do? Who am I going to pick? Who is going to want to tag team with me? I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And then Mandy suggests Braun Strowman. Now, my question is, why wouldn't he think of that himself? How the hell can you be the Money in the Bank winner and not figure that out yourself? I mean, Jesus Christ, is Vince really knows how to make the characters come across stupid as hell. I will be straight up with you guys. I will admit this. Yes, I understand that Otis is the briefcase winner. Braun Strowman is the Universal Champion. Why would Braun Strowman want to team with Otis? Which is mentioned in a later segment when Otis actually asks Braun Strowman for the request for his okay to be the tag team partner to Otis's match with Miz and Morrison. So, I don't know. Quite frankly, I'm not quite sure on that. But I do see a little bit of a logic gap there, which I didn't write down in my notes, by the way. But I will say this. I have to say Braun Strowman's the only decent enough pick to go with here. I mean, you don't really have any big name that would be suitable enough to team with Otis. Not to mention, the ending segment was kind of, interesting. And I'll get into that when I get to the main event. So the next segment involves the Smackdown hacker, which has yet to be revealed, which I thought was supposed to happen at Money in the Bank, which it did not. Would someone please tell me who in the hell is the hacker? Because this is getting stretched out for too long already. Really, this is getting stretched out way too long. So, I don't know who the hell it could be. I don't think it's CM Punk, because CM Punk has a tattoo on his hand, which you actually see his hand lift up in the air and press a button, and you don't see any tattoo on there. So, I don't think it's CM Punk, and if it is, they made a fucking humongous illogical gap. Why didn't they just have CM Punk do it? I don't think it's him. I think it's Mustafa Ali, more than likely. And if that's the case, that's great. But why don't they just reveal the hacker already and get it over with? So we go backstage once again with Otis. He goes up to Strowman and asks him if he would like to be his partner. He feels that he's just tricking him so he can cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. He tells him he has some falls to come up to him and ask, and he informs him he'll think about it. So Otis is somewhat happy about that. He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, what? You fucking idiot. He didn't say yes, number one. And number two, what the fuck is everything with you gotta be, oh yeah, oh yeah. It looks like he's fucking convulsing, ready to have a fucking seizure. I mean, come on, man. This is fucking ridiculous. This guy is standing there acting like a blithering idiot. This isn't comic relief. This is supposed to be wrestling. I want to be entertained. I'm not being entertained by this idiotic bullshit. This is fucking retarded. So we get Naomi versus Dana Brooke as the next match. Now, this match was actually pretty nice. I actually enjoyed this match, but it was way too short. Dana Brooke wins the match by a roll-up pin, and the match wasn't bad, but it was too short, like I just stated. I'm just reading off my notes here. And Naomi was on the offense for most of the match, too. So why she lost made no sense to me at all. But hey, when has anything made sense to us about WWE, honestly? And I feel Brooke was undeserving to win this match. I personally feel that Naomi really deserves a shot at Bayley again for a championship match. She put on a good match here, and yet she lost. I thought that was fucking trash. So we get a recap of Becky Lynch announcement being pregnant. I wonder how long they're going to discuss about Becky Lynch being pregnant. I mean, God knows that they've been mentioning it a lot all this week. But don't get me wrong, she will be missed, but not forgotten. And when she returns, it will be a big pop for her return. I guarantee you that. There's no doubt in my mind she will not get a huge pop from this audience once we have fans in the crowd. And I think they should wait until she is able to come back and we actually have an audience for this moment to happen. So, I mean, I felt bad for Becky in a way, but at the same time, I mean, she's, doing her business with Seth Rollins and, she's reproducing. So, hey, you putting yourself in that risky situation that you may end up losing the opportunity to still remain in the WWE ring. So that's on you, man. But hey, she stood up, acted as a responsible woman. She created a child with her soon-to-be husband, Seth Rollins, and she's taking responsibility and putting her career on hold. I gotta commend her for it. So next segment after this was Charlotte Flair. Oh God, thank God we didn't have to see her wrestle, but shit, man. Could we live without this woman being on all three brands? Which, by the way, she mentions that. She goes ahead and she said, "You all wonder why I'm here on all three brands, and that's because I'm bringing in ratings." Well, I kind of mentioned in my notes here that that is bullshit. People want to see... that's bullshit that people want to see Charlotte on all three brands. This was definitely Vince saying, this is what you get. Don't like it, tough shit kind of mentality through the dialogue they were feeding Charlotte Flair here in this segment. I say to Vince, enjoy those ratings falling every week like they have been at this point. Because they've been dropping every fucking week down the toilet. At least AEW is producing some increase in their ratings once in a while. They'll drop, they'll go up. They maintain their rating. WWE is not. They continuously drop. I did hear SmackDown went slightly upwards last week's episode, but not to the standards of what Fox is looking for. So, I don't know. So, while Charlotte Flair is babbling about how she's blonde and how people want to see blonde chicks with good wrestling ability, which I don't think she's a horrible wrestler, but I will say she is used a lot like fucking Roman Reigns. A lot like her. I think... or like him. I'm sorry. I'm calling Roman Reigns or her. What the fuck's wrong with me? I'm sorry, guys. I'm recording this video at 1:35 in the fucking morning. So excuse me if I'm screwing up on my words, which generally I most of the time do anyway, because I'm trying to talk so fast, but yet I can't spit the words out fast enough. So Bayley and Sasha come out to confront her with these comments that are coming out of her fucking mouth, which was ridiculous. They discussed how Bayley feels she is better and that Charlotte should get lost at this point, which I totally agree on that comment. And then Charlotte is utilized properly in this segment. I liked what they did here. After all the babbling bullshit of Charlotte Flair talking about how she's this, she's that, she's a blonde, she's being used on all three brands for increasing ratings in its shows, which is a big fat lie. They then utilize her in this segment the proper way. They use her to help build and progress Bayley and Sasha Banks' storyline of tension building up in their friendship, eventually leading to them separating as a group. And I like this. So then Charlotte touches on Bayley winning because of Sasha Banks being in her corner. She then asks Sasha, is she content being a supporting player instead of being on her own? I have to say Charlotte's purpose on this episode was well used to help push forward with Sasha breaking up with Bayley. Because honestly, in 2016, Sasha was tearing the roof down tearing the roof off the place with Charlotte Flair in one-on-one matches over the women's championship from the summer all the way through till the winter in December. I mean, they had a series of good matches, but unfortunately they didn't give Sasha Banks a legitimate title run here, which I didn't like at all. So back from commercial break, we have the Forgotten Sons have a promo about how the world treated them when they retired from the military because they were considered mentally unstable and that everything they believed in was a load of shit, which they actually said but bleeped out when they stated it in their promo. It seemed like a good promo based on where they were going with it, but it seemed unnatural at the same time. Kind of hard to explain though, but it just didn't seem genuine to me. And that's the truth, guys. I really didn't feel that promo was very genuine. I felt it was very like... It was just a way of making them kind of stand out with this gimmick, the Forgotten Sons, and kind of, I guess, giving purpose to the name of what their team is. I don't care for the Forgotten Sons. For all I care, they can be forgotten. They sucked. I didn't like them in NXT. Why am I going to like them here? I mean, they looked promising as a tag team in the Dusty Rhodes Classic tournament to crown #1 contenders for the NXT World Tag Titles, but outside of that, they haven't done shit since, and they haven't impressed me at all. So, excuse me if I don't care for the Forgotten Sons. So Renee Young interviews Miz and Morrison. They feel even though Braun isn't smart to them, they don't think he's that dumb to join Otis and tag team against them. Knowing full well that Otis may try to attempt to cash in on him. Then they start singing the hey hey ho ho. For the love of God, would they make Morrison a singles competitor? Because this team is not working in my mind. And quite frankly, guys, you have to admit, Morrison would be a hell of a lot better by himself than working with The Miz. He was so promising in Impact Wrestling and in this company with WWE, he is a fucking complete joke. I mean, I liked when Morrison and The Miz were a tag team back when they were first starting out in the mid-2000s. But here, I just don't care for it. It is worthless to me. It's worthless to anyone. It's pathetic. It's a waste of time. So Drew Gulak versus Daniel Bryan. This is another match for the tournament for the Intercontinental Championship match. I will say this match I really enjoyed. It was great technical wrestling. Bryan wins with a heel hook, though, a heel hook submission. Though I would have preferred Gulak winning and being crowned the new Intercontinental Champion. It definitely would have been something different, and no one would have expected him to win the title. So I will say this, if Bryan signed a new contract with WWE, then I would be okay with Bryan winning the IC title, or at least advancing in this tournament at this point. Because at this point in time, do you see Bryan winning the championship unless he signed a new contract with WWE? I haven't heard of anything. I tried looking up stuff. I'll try looking again and notify you the next time I bring up a video, but quite frankly, there wasn't nothing that I've heard that says that he's still staying with WWE. So, for him to advance and Drew Gulak not, I think is a complete waste of an opportunity here. I think Drew Gulak actually winning the tournament and winning the title would have been more beneficial to the WWE's roster than Daniel Bryan winning this, and he's not going to even win the title to begin with. Now, I like the promo he had with Renee Young. I think it was Renee Young. I wasn't looking up. I was still typing notes on here when I heard all this. But he was asked, is he happy that he moved forward in this tournament? He's like, yeah, I'm very excited. A year to this day, or 5 years to this day, I was actually relinquishing the championship because of major injury. And I would really like to win this title and prove and bring some more prestige to this championship to bring wrestling back into this title, because I am the absolute best wrestler in the world. I won't deny those comments. I thought that was very true what he was saying. It wasn't like scripted Babylon bullshit or babbling bullshit. It was just something that's true. He is one of the best wrestlers in the world. But if he hasn't signed a contract with this company, him winning this match is meaningless. They should have just went with Drew Gulak. I hope he signed a new contract with WWE to make sense of why Gulak lost. Then we have Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler promo, and Sonya Deville does most of the talking about how she's going to humiliate Mandy Rose next week in a mixed tag team match with Dolph Ziggler, Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose and Otis. She makes fun of the idea of her having a lifelong relationship with Otis and how they would spend their time together in a trailer with screaming kids. Basically saying she's with a loser. That was pretty much that. Talking about how she's going to beat her up. All the same mumbo-jumbo bullshit you normally hear from one wrestler to another in a promo that's in a heated rivalry. Big fucking deal. Nothing major happened here. Strowman and Otis versus the Miz and Morrison, which was the closing of this show. This was a very dull main event match. Not a good way to close out the show either. Strowman picks up the victory for his team, pinning John Morrison. At the end of the show, Mandy Rose comes out. It seems to me she was trying to distract Strowman so he could cash in on the champion. Strowman turns around and Otis informs him he was just fooling with him. You could see Mandy's expression, by the way, in the ring, that she didn't seem comfortable being all over Otis in this segment. I believe it might have had something to do with her boyfriend not feeling comfortable with this storyline. And I wouldn't feel comfortable about it either if I was in his position. It's just for storyline purposes alone. But then again, who the fuck knows? And that's really all I have to say about this, man. There's really nothing about this show that was meaningful. Outside of Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan, the rest of the show, you could have taken it and thrown in the fucking garbage. That's all I have to say. If you enjoyed this show, congratulations. I'm glad you can find enjoyment out of garbage. But not me. I expect more. I expect creativity. I expect excitement. And this show didn't deliver any of that. And once again, Bruce Pritchard, like my friend Matthew said to JD, if you did not watch the episode for the review on Money in the Bank from JD, watch the ending clip of that, what my friend Matt had to say about Bruce Pritchard. Good old Bruce. And hear what he had to say, because it was fucking hilarious. I will mention it here just to save you guys some time. If you want to go back and listen to what JD had to say when they read off Matt's comment, he informed JD, said, apparently when Bruce Pritchard came out of the bathroom in that Money in the Bank segment, he apparently writes his storylines for Smackdown on the can while taking a shit. And I have to go on record and agree with Matthew. This was something you could have written while taking a dump. This was fucking garbage. Really fucking garbage beyond garbage. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say at this time. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video. And hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to this channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.